Hey guys, we're here today with a video covering Take Two. So this one will be for Swordcraft, which I think is the best class for the meta. And if you are looking to grind packs and also for rupees, and you want to do well in Take Two, this is a video for you. So what we're going to be covering today is we're going to go through a run that I had. So it was a 6-2 run, which means that you got your entry back, an extra pack, and a few hundred rupees on top of that. So it's a very good result. And then I'm going to go through my card choices and then also some gameplay footage. So if you do want like a reference point before you jump into it for yourself, I think this will be a great video to watch. Before we get into the draft, I just want to introduce a new feature on the website. So www.shadowversemaster.com. We have the Take Two card ratings. So essentially what I've done is I've gone through the cards from set 1 and set 2, and I've given each of them a rating based on my opinion of their overall strength and viability in the format. So if you are a newer player, if you just want a second opinion while you're drafting, make sure to check out this page. You can filter it based on the class that you're drafting for. So Forest, Swordcraft, Runecraft, etc. And we'll also have a tier list on the website shortly as well. So I hope that does help you guys out while you're grinding your own Take Two experience. So for those of you that don't know, in this particular format of Take Two, you always get to see 2 cards from each of the classes at the start of every run, which helps you decide which class you want to play. But I had a pretty good feeling I wanted to play Swordcraft. I played Dragon in the previous run, so I wanted to play something that was, tier 1, and Swordcraft is the top of tier 1. I also think Portalcraft would have been a great pick here. I mean, Liam and Sway are both like very high value and high synergy cards. But I thought Sword was okay. Zirconia is enough for us to consider it. So looking at this initial pick, look, I think in hindsight, I would probably pick left, but I think what I was thinking here was, look, we already have like a pretty good mid game and like late game, and I just want to secure my storm damage, right? I wasn't too sure how likely it was for us to hit the premium storm option, which is obviously Albert, but I think it's too early to pick this actually, like after my first draft. And I think probably I would have picked the left-hand side, but I think it's not bad. I think it's mostly because I overrated this Ninja Master card as opposed to anything else, Okay, so our second pick is like super obvious. Like it's definitely Luminous Lance Trooper and Luminous Matches. So we already have a very high end curve, and so here we're just filling out our curve. So the 2-drop here, this is one of the best 2-drops. I mean, it's a constructed level card, right? And then Luminous Matches is probably the best 5-drop in Sword, so it's just a snap call. When you're early on in your draft, you really just want to pick the strongest cards, not necessarily the best for your curve. But in this case, it was both, right? So we just picked left-hand side. In this case, Lucrative Deal is extremely bad, so we're never picking this. And then the left-hand side, I thought, well, this is a candidate for like, we can either reroll or we can pick the left-hand side. I think rerolling is acceptable on the basis that you're rerolling bronze and you can hit like a high rarity, but this is strong enough that we can take it. Again, I think this one, Luminous Magic is so good, and I think I'm actually checking my curve here to see if I can justify taking a second Luminous, but I think we will just take the second Luminous Magic here. This is too strong of a card. Okay, and then next up we have this again, so I think we never take the right-hand side, obviously, but we're just considering if we want to take left or if we want to reroll. But left-hand side is strong enough. I mean, we just want 2-drop, which is Ruby. And then here is actually a pretty tough choice. I mean, Volse is a great card, and so is Rose, to be honest. I think we would most likely pick the left-hand side here. I mean, Ravening is a great kind of storm tool. Like, a lot of decks can't really play around it. It's 5 guaranteed damage. The healing is good to make sure that you don't get clapped back when you're setting up 2-turn lethal, and Zirconia is one of the best like gold cards in Sword in general. So I think we're very likely to pick left, which we do. Okay, next up, I think it's just going to be a snap call to right. This one is very easy to pick because you can see that we only have 2 2-drops, and then we have been offered 2 of the best 2-drops in the pool. So I think it's snap call, and I doubt I spent too long thinking about it. Okay, pick number 8. So this one, Luminous Magic is obviously the best card out of the 4 here, but Adventurer's Guild is quite bad, right? So I think it's going to be a snap call to left, especially because we want to fill up our 2-cost and 3-cost curve. Because you can see we only have 1 3-cost here as well, so it'll be a snap left. Okay, pick number 9. So both of these are pretty terrible. I think we most likely just redraw here. This is like the perfect opportunity to redraw. Yep. Okay, so here the redraw is marginally better. Way of the Maid is something that I typically would not pick if I had the choice. So I just picked 2 playable cards over Prim, which is playable, right? So yeah, we just pick right here. I think I don't take too long to think about it. Okay, pick number 10. So again, I think the right hand side is not so strong. So it's just going to be two playable or good 2-drops, right? You don't really need to think too much for this. I think if this were early in the draft where like maybe you could get more rusty like Lux card tricksters, then maybe, but as it stands, it's just definitely the left hand side. This one's a bit rough, right? I think I really don't like Way of the Maid. I like Ignominious Samurai, obviously, but I don't know if we can pick Way of the Maid to justify it. And I think given we only have 3 more picks left, like this is the best opportunity for us to do a redraw. So the redraw is still bad. It's really bad, actually. I think the Caravan Mammoth is really hard to play, so we most likely just go left here. We have enough spells in the deck that I think we justify it. Nightly Rending is not a bad removal spell at all. Okay, so for this pick, I think we just go right again. I'm not sure how to evaluate Ancestral Crown, if I'm being honest. I don't really like giving up turn 4. I think it's like probably okay to pick, but this one I definitely tanked a little bit, thinking about which one made more sense. But ultimately, I thought Ironcrown Majesty is good enough with a 3-drop. And then also, like, we have enough spells to justify the 4 cost as well, so I thought that would be okay. And then after that, we went, here we go. So here, I think it's actually like it's a decent like pick between the two. Like you can go either way. I think I may have gone left-hand side because we have enough Storm already, but would go either way. Yeah, we went left-hand side here. I think the main reason there was because we already have a very high top end and we have a lot of Storm damage already, so I just don't feel like we need to over-index into it. And then for our final pick, it's between Vols, Furious, Grimnir, and Ravening. I think for a similar reason, we probably went for the right-hand side, just get a bit more value. Vols is the best 3-drop, so... whereas Grimnir, you know, the stat line on the board is okay, but I kind of prefer Vols for the ambush ability, the fact that it clears everything in the early mid, and then Urius, like, you know, it's good in mirror match and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think most likely we just picked right here. Although it would have been close, and I think you could justify either of the two. Okay, so we have our first game. It's against Abyss. We're taking second. I think second is a pretty large advantage, generally speaking. And if we have Zirconia, we definitely keep that. It's our best card. And then we just have a curve like this. So I think typically with this deck, if you have Zirconia, obviously you're looking at Evos in turn 4 in most circumstances. Here, we don't coin out mainly because like I'm looking at the hand. We don't have another 2-drop, so I feel like it's not that important for us to have like an immediate curve here. Especially given that, like, you know, if they play a 2-drop, like, are we just pushing 2 damage to face and playing nothing? Doesn't feel very good. So here, I think we just went for the buff. I didn't really feel like trading into this, and I felt pushing 4 damage against Abyss is pretty good. Not to mention, it's not that easy to clear this, and if we can Zirconia, it's very good for us. Interestingly, he does actually have a pretty good answer to us, but I mean, either way, we still go Zirconia, and it's not that easy to answer for most decks. Oh, wait, no. I went Luminous Mage. And the reason I did this was because I figured when else are we going to use a coin? Plus also here, I thought it would be very difficult to answer this. You'll notice I even played around the potential Aragavi by evoing this one. If it goes Aragavi, it does 7 damage, like in order from left to right. So this would live, and it would be very hard to answer. And then, I mean, obviously in this turn, like I figured, you know, there's not many outs to this, so then we can just go Zirconia, get above the board, and then they should have a very hard time clearing it, which turned out to be true, right? So from here on out, I'm feeling pretty confident that he's not going to be able to fully break through this. And although this is like the start of like a breakthrough, it's generally not, right? Abyss doesn't have great like AoE clear, like unless they have exactly Apollo. And like most of their like bigger clears are like locked to higher, like and play point cost or Aragavi, which clearly doesn't have. So on this turn, we're just pushing damage through and building board. So I think from here, we already know we've won the game. Like, it's so unlikely to lose. I mean, we're probably going to set up Boss next turn, but I mean, he already knows it's over. So for our next match, we have Swordcraft Portal. So we're going second again. I mean, going second is just so good. Like, what's not to like? So we just go for curve. So 2-drops and 4-drop is usually pretty good here when you're going second with Zirconia. So in this situation, you know, we have 2 2-drops. It's usually fine to just coin them out. And especially like this, like we don't die to like, you know, any puppet like shenanigans, honestly. If they go puppet guy, we go ignominious. If not, we just kind of curve more. He doesn't seem to have anything, which is great, so we just curve again. And we even have Iron Crown Majesty, right? So he just gets hard punished if he doesn't clear. And he does not have the full clear. So honestly, I'm just going to fast forward this game because I think you don't need to watch too much after this. Like if you're playing against this board, it's pretty much already over, right? It's on 10 HP and it's not even turn 4 yet. And then we just evolve Zirconia, trade, swing another 3 to face on 7. You even have like, we literally have our lethals in hand already, but I think legitimately, like what can you even do? Like, isn't he basically just dead on board? Yeah. So, I mean, we just can't lose here. And then I think he probably knows this because we can super eat by next turn and 1 chip damage for game. So next up we have Sword versus Runecraft. So we are going first this time. So going first, at least your curve like is very straightforward, right? Like you don't need to think about when to use coin. You just play out your hand mindlessly and hope they don't have outs. Classic Swordcraft gaming. Although I will say, like looking at this hand, if we went second, this game would just be instantly won. I mean, the game's not very well balanced in that respect, I will say. So in this case, we're just playing a curve, right? So here, like we just trade in, so we get Rose effect. And we make it just kind of hard for the clear. And then here we just get another huge tempo lead as well, because we can just go this, ping it, trade in, swing 1, play Luminous. And now if they don't have AoE clear, we're just going to wreck them with Zirconia the turn after. Although they do unfortunately have the single best turn 5 card, right? So, I mean, unfortunately these things happen, right? It's broken in this format as well. But even then they don't full clear, even then. And so here, like, you know, I just think given the makeup of our deck, we have a lot of storm damage. And I don't think, you know, in Take 2, I really respect like the AoE a lot less. So I'm more than willing to just trade over and swing 4 damage to face and force him into a difficult position. And so here in this situation, I don't even care, right? Like if he trades like 3 or whatever, or even if he does this and swings 6, like I'm happy to race. Like, you know, the general pool of Runecraft, they don't have storm damage. So like at most they might have Odin, right? That's the best they could have. So instead we're just going to push damage through under the impression that they probably can't clear the boss, so they're probably going to take another 4 damage here. But we shall see. Okay, so he does have Brilliant, unfortunately. But again, like we don't really care, right? We have Ignominious to clear this for free, and we can also establish an Arms Peddler and then ensure we draw a card next turn even if he clears it. And in my opinion, it's very unlikely it's going to play around Centaur Centurion. Like, a lot of people don't think that turn 8 is 10 damage. But in this case, he actually needed the Earthright to give this ward, which means that he does get to play for an extra turn. We can't kill him right away. So instead, we just go Urius. We ping him for 2. We Super Evo over this. And then we make it pretty hard for him to play. Like, if he doesn't have Norman, it should be pretty rough for him. And even if it's Norman, he needs something else in order to clear it. Okay. That's a pretty clean out, but it's not out to storm damage, which is going to kill him. So clean 7 damage kill. So game number 4, we're against Swordcraft. So I think, you know, when you do a pretty like deep run, you should expect to see a lot of mirrors. I mean, it is just the best class in the format at the moment. I think like Abyss, Sword, Portal, they all seem pretty good to me. But yeah, I mean, obviously going turn 2, we just want to hit our turn 4 play, ideally. Like, I think we had good Zirconia. And if you get a good Zirconia off in the Sword Mirror, you pretty much will snowball and win the game. So that's kind of what we're playing towards. Unfortunately, I don't think we have a super clean way to answer this. So we're just playing for board here, seeing if we can build something big before we go for the Zirconia turn. Well, we actually drew into it, so skilled. So we just go wide under the impression that they can't clear, so we don't trade in. We let them trade into one of them, but we're expecting at least 2 of them to live. And then from this point onwards, we go Zirconia, buff everything, and we're going to swing face. Like, there's not that much AoE clear, like in Sword, so you don't need to worry about getting punished in most cases. I mean, of course, Apollo can punish you, but like, we're not playing around that, like in this format. It's not that easy for them to have it, I think. I've only seen like one Apollo, like in a few runs. It's actually like a surprisingly decent spot for him, but we also draw in matches, so. Now, I think there's two ways you can play this particular turn. You can either trade, and then I think it might be better to trade here rather than push 2 damage, and I'll explain the reason. So, like, in my opinion, like, it might have been a little bit greedy, because if he does have the Gildaria here, I think we don't have an out to it, and we could lose the game on the spot because of that. So I think that's a good reason for us to do it, but the upside of what we did here is that, well, here we can just go 5 damage to face, and we can just kill him, so. I mean, you know, there's 2 options, but one is a bit more of a risk-taking option, but it worked out. Alright, so another sword mirror. So this one I think we actually don't win this one, but I mean, we can review the match together, see if we made any mistakes, or if they just high-rolled me. So going second, we just keep a 2-drop and try to hit our turn 4 either, but no Zirconia to be seen. So I think we can already kind of tell what happened in this game. I might, yeah, so we just want to control the board a little bit, so we're just going to trade in. So we have like 1 extra HP plus like potentially, I kind of remember now, this was a rough game. But yeah, we just push 1 damage here because it's not really worth it to clear this. Stealth clear our board for no reason. And then here, I think we just played to control the board as best we can, and then also see if we can draw into Zirconia. If we do, we're in a good spot. Like, if we have Zirconia here, the game is over. Like, it's literally over on this exact turn. But we don't have Zirconia, so it's not a game over. Like, that's the problem with, like, this matchup, right? You do. And so, like, obviously, like, I think it's, like, you know, he probably just has no choice, but yeah, like, he's not supposed to get out scot-free, right? He plays this with the expectation that if I have Zirconia, he probably loses the game. Whatever, it is what it is. So we try our best to clear the board, even though we know it's a bit of a losing battle because this gives so much value. But, I mean, while we can clear the board, why don't we, right? It's not going to get easier to clear later on. So yeah, we do get overwhelmed by his tempo a little bit here, which is unfortunate. I think here I had 2 options, right? My options were either I can go for like the clear line, but I mean it's not great, right? Like the clear line is like Peddler and then Iron Crown, Evo. And that just feels pretty bad, like using our Super Evo for that. I mean, it could get us like a game win here, right? But I think this line is better, honestly, because I mean, if you think about it, it's like 10 damage, right? And then if he has like Albert or something like that, it should be 7 damage. So like, or he can maybe, I think, if 10, 13, like if he has Wrapping Tentacles, it's 18 damage as well. So he shouldn't have 19. So it's relatively safe for us to play this one. And then if he has no ward, we can coin out Centaurian for lethal. So, I mean, this is like kind of my thought process with this setup, but unfortunately, I did actually get sacked. So, like this Kagemitsu here into Iron Crown Majesty, like this is not a lethal that you should be able to play around. Nor do I think anyone should try and play around this particular lethal, right? Like I think if I lost to like a ward setup, it would be like, okay, I got punished. But this I just think is just unlucky. Okay, so right off the back of that, we play into Swordcraft again. So yeah, it's a lot of Swordcraft mirrors, and like I said, shouldn't be a surprise. This is the best deck of the format. Or at least the easiest deck to draft while still having great performance. Okay, so we did get Zirconia, so that's always great. We get second as well, but we have no 2-drop, so that's a little bit of a concern. So it may be a bit of an uphill battle if we draw no 2-drop here. But fortunately we do draw the 2-drop, even though it's a bit of a more awkward one. But I mean, at least it's not getting free value unless he has another one, which is quite unfortunate for us. So here, I mean, I think you can go Iron Crown or you can go this. I think this one's a bit more resistant though. And so, like, this doesn't feel that great. Like, this Zirconia is not the greatest Zirconia ever. Like, yeah, sure, you get to clear over 2 of their cards, but they have Luminous Mage, then they can trade into everything, so we still gain control of the board, and it's not a bad Evo, but it's just that because this is still alive, we do unfortunately give them a decent out to this board. But I think even then, it's not like a full out. Or at least we get a neutral position to rebuild board, which we go for, right? We don't even use the coin in the end. But yeah, basically Steelclad Knight. Force them to clear the board. We don't really have anything really in hand. Like if they play nothing, we can Ironcrown Majesty them. Okay, so here he's just going like an ambush line, which is fine. So obviously here all we're doing is we're just going wide and we're going to buff everything and we're going to push 4 damage to face. And this is usually not very easy to clear if they don't have exactly like Yodari or whatever. Like they probably have to trade a bunch of stuff in. But I think here he kind of trolls. Like I think he thought he had lethal here. And it's simply not lethal. So it's like what? It's pretty close though. Like 5, 9, 12, 15. And he just concedes. I don't know why. Like clearly he could have fought for the board. And I mean, looking at my hand, it's not at all obvious like whether or not I would win or lose this game. But I mean, whatever. So at the moment, I think we're 5-1. So we're against Havencraft this time. Okay, so going second. Always like to see that. So I think we just toss everything, try and hit the Gildario. Sorry, Zirconia, sorry. And then yeah, from Zirconia, like obviously we can just snowball them. So this board, I mean against Haven, they don't have too many like efficient ways to clear 1-drops, 1 HP followers, so we just drop this, see if they have anything. Which they do not, which means we poke them for 2 damage for free. So 2 damage, plus we go Royal Coachwoman. So again, it's not that obviously like easy for them to clear it. Like this is a great card. And you know, honestly, I wasn't expecting to even have this, but yeah, I mean, that was pretty good out, not gonna lie. But regardless, I mean, we continue to just go wide and swing face. I mean, we don't have to worry about taking face damage against Haven usually. Now, again, I mean, Zirconia would be so good here, but we don't have it. So we have to go and play Noctis. I mean, he looks like Noctis. And then we don't have like any play point, like refundable, like plays we want to do. So we just swing to the face. I mean, look, there's an option to go banned into like a 1-drop, but I'd rather just save it. I think this card, I mean, it does come in handy, right? Like it hits 4 damage 3 times and enhance 4. So I figure it's not necessarily worthwhile to save like the HP on like the on the 5/5. But yeah, this game is quite copium, like I'm not gonna lie, just because we missed Zirconia. So instead we just have to take the option of like clearing his board, getting a bit of chip damage in, like bit by bit. And of course this Wilbur is kind of hard to deal with, but I mean even so, we gotta do our best. So here we just clear it with Band, and I think we Evo the Steelclad. I mean, like, of course, like, you know, if he goes Ether here and he gets like multiple cards, then we just go, okay, you brought a constructed deck, GG. But if they don't have it, then, you know, it's still not that easy for them to capitalize on Wilbert's effect. And clearly here, I mean, them going for the AoE clear and storm damage is not a problem. So this card is clearly like a very obvious and easy force angle. Like, Haven doesn't typically have easy outs to ambush, like especially like a single one. But I mean, this thing being 7/10 is actually like a ridiculous stat line. So we have to play like somewhat creatively here. So I think here it's like, you know, we trade in with a rush and then we super evo in and then we push 5. And then this leaves us pretty vulnerable to potentially like a Themis play, but it doesn't leave us vulnerable to John. So I mean, there's plus and negatives to both. And then once again, this thing is so big, like I'm not really understanding it, like 13 defense. And we don't have hard removal, so we have to play like kind of weird. So here, like we just have to go Urius and we have to trade in the boss. And I mean, ultimately, like we're still doing chip damage, and it does put him in a kind of awkward position where he has to clear the board, he has to heal, and he has to ward, right? And it's pretty hard to do all of that. Like maybe his best option is like Unholy Vessel into like double ward. But he has to have the ward, right? And that's the problem with Haven. There's too many different like cooks and chefs in the kitchen. And so like even though he drafted Wilbert, like didn't draw the ward Haven package. So yeah, just kill him. And so finally we have the potential 7-win, like 7-win run, but spoiler, we do unfortunately lose this one, but it's very close in my opinion. So like this is actually like very close to an ideal hand, I would say. Like it really depends on how they play it as well, but generally speaking, this is a great early game hand. But this game plays out in a number of ways, which is very awkward. So the first one is that he has his own roll coach woman, which makes my Seria extremely awkward to play. If it's playing like anything else, like I'm definitely ahead. Like this is the only 2-drop where like I actually feel bad. And then on top of that, he has the Hound as well. And so he plays it in such a way that he's like kind of testing me. And I don't even have a 3-drop here. Like if I have a 3-drop, this is so different, like the situation. Like if I have any 2-drop or 3-drop, he can't do this. Like even if he goes like Silent Maid, right? But here like it just feels so bad. Like, you know, I'm just thinking like, do I Zirconia into Bane and then just leave 2 2/2s on the board? And I think in hindsight, like that might have been the better play. But this only really gets punished if he has his own Zirconia, which he does. But I think it might have been okay to go Zirconia like into the Bane. And this is what I mean, right? Like as in, if we look at this turn 4 here, like this turn is so awkward because like I bricked on my turn 3. If my turn 3 has any play, the buff will make it a 3/3 that can trade in, and then he has to answer a 6/6 2 2/2s. And then that's almost impossible to clear, like from the store perspective, right? So like that's kind of why it's kind of a little bit grief. But I think even so, I should have just gone Zirconia, and even though it feels absolutely terrible to lose a 6/6 to a 3/3 Bane, at least we get 2 2/2s, and that means I don't get fully punished by Zirconia. Because then, like, at least when he goes Zirconia, like, I still have 2 2/2s, right? And even if he trades one of these in, like, I have a 2/2 to trade one of the other 2/2s, and then I can maybe go, like, Zirconia and, like, trade into his Zirconia. And it's not too bad, right? As opposed to this situation where, like, I put myself in a pretty, like, unfortunate kind of play. I think I got baited by the fact that, like, I was like, oh yeah, 3/2 rush, and then this will, like, draw a card back and I conserve Evo. But in reality, like, I think I kind of griefed myself. So I locked myself out of being able to play Zirconia here, which is, this is not a terrible like situation to be in, like because we have Luminous, but I think we would be in a better situation if I had just gone Zirconia Evo on turn 4. So I think, you know, always room to improve, even for me. So it is what it is. Here we just Evo'd. But I think like originally I wanted like a situation where like maybe I could super Evo and conserve stuff, but it just didn't make sense. This situation is not so bad, but then Jenna, like, my god, man, so rough. And so like this Evo here is quite good, like I will say. Puts a lot of pressure on me. Like I'm on 10 HP, so like I really have to like consider whether or not I can like safely Zirconia Evo, which I judge that I cannot, right? So instead I just super Evo this and clear Jenna and try to see if he has clean out this, which he may not, right? Yeah, what an interesting situation. I think here, like the problem here, like I was really hoping I would draw into the Battle Princess spell, like the one that you would have seen in the previous game. And like you can see my hand, like the rest of the options were not particularly great. Like maybe I could have gone like Zirconia plus like, nah, I mean like the plays were very like sketchy. Very, very sketchy. And unfortunately we give him an option to like clear the board fairly easily here. And he's on 6 HP, which means we can't kill him with Ravening. It's just so unfortunate. So instead, I do it this way on the basis that if he has no ward, then we can maybe kill him with Centaur. It's a pretty like rough angle, but Olivia heals it. Like, it's just so rough, man, this game. Like it's just like consistently barely out of lethal range. And like obviously it's partially intentional, but partially like he's just drawing the cards he needs, which is just so rough. Like in here, like I had another option, right? I can either trade and then like I can trade and put him out of lethal range and force him to clear one of these. And if he doesn't clear, we go a centaur for lethal. Or we can try and like leave him at full board space, play Night Shadow, Ninja Master, pray he doesn't have another ward. But like if he doesn't have a ward, then we can go Ninja plus Centaur for lethal. But if he has any storm, we die. Or any ward, we probably die as well. So instead, we just opted for this because we don't die to anything on the spot. And honestly, like this play did seem okay, right? I mean, he's playing 2 of these to clear my board as well. And he even did have the ward, right? It's just so annoying. Like, why does he have the bell ringer here too? So here I just opted for Urius. I mean, it doesn't feel great, but he may not have an out to this. But he does have the Albert. So it looks like no matter how I played the end stage of the game, like I definitely would have died to this either way. Unfortunately, I just don't have an out towards. So I hope today's video was helpful, both in terms of the drafting and also the commentated gameplay. I think ultimately, you know, Swordcraft is definitely one of the best classes within Take-Two at the moment. So if you want to grind your rupees and you want to get 7-win runs, I think it's the best class to try it with. And if you like this type of Take-Two content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.